Good afternoon, class. How are you all today? How was your day? Okay, that's good to hear. So, I'm Kati Sikataag, your class instructor for today's discussion. Okay, before we proceed to our class, let us all stand and pray first. May I call Miss Kindao to please lead the prayer? Thank you, Miss Kindao. So before you settle down, kindly pick up the pieces of trash under your chairs and arrange your chairs properly. Please say present if your name is called, and if there are absentees or excused from the class, please just say not around or excuse. Adaya, Asis, Banyes, Ituon, Kindao, Imas. So before we proceed to our new topic, I have here an activity class. This activity called Unscramble Me. So if you know or want to answer, just raise your hand. So thank you class for your participation. So what was the last topic that we discussed last meeting? Okay, Miss Imas. Okay, thank you, Miss Imas. So before we proceed to our main discussion, let us first an activity called Guess the Emoji. Okay, let's start. So thank you class for your participation. All of your answers are correct. So now, I want you to name the philosophers that I will show you. Very good. All of your answers are correct. So our topic for today is about educational philosophies. So anyone in class who has an idea of what is educational philosophies? Okay, thank you, Miss Imas. So educational philosophy refers to a person's beliefs and values about education and serves as the foundation for his or her practice profession. So next is the philosophical foundations of education. So first, humanism, moralism, realism, and rationalism. So first, humanism. Humanism, the accepted philosophy of education in school. It's founded upon the ideas expressed by the humanists Plutarch, Guanino, Di Verano, Vittorino, Ramos, Johann Thorne, Colet, Galileo, Da Vinci, and others. So humanism, it seeks to engage the learner as a whole, where the intellect, feelings, social capacities, artistic and practical are given attention in the learning process. So next is moralism. The moralists repudiated many humanist ideas. The moralists nevertheless made contributions to the mainstream of present-day education philosophy. So moralism, it requires a set of beliefs and values regarding what is right and wrong. So next is realism. Realism was the name applied to the theory which advocated that education must be concerned with all of the life's realities. Realism, it is the attitude or practice of accepting a situation as it is being prepared to deal with accordingly. So next is rationalism. Rationalism developed as philosophy along with disciplinarism. So rationalism, it is the philosophical view that knowledge is acquired through reason without the aid of the senses. So next is the forerunners of modern educational philosophy. So first is Jean-Jacques Rousseau. In 1762, he wrote Emily, in which he started to define of naturalism. He said that education must aim at the development of a society in which individuals can realize equality, fraternity, simplicity, and liberty. So, Jean-Jacques Rousseau was a genuine philosopher, writer, and a composer. His political philosophy influenced the progress of the Age of Enlightenment throughout Europe, as well as the aspects of the French Revolution and the development of modern political, economic, and educational thought. So next is Johann Heinrich Pestalozzi. So Johann was Swiss-born and educated, and he was greatly influenced by Rousseau, but unlike Rousseau, he had much opportunity to try out his theories of education. So for several years, he directed an elementary school at Bordeaux. Later, he returned his attention to the training of elementary teacher. Yverdon, where his philosophy of education and methods of teaching were adopted by educators from all parts of the world. So, Pestalozzi believed that society should be changed and the lot of mankind improved through education. So, here are some of his significant theories which related to our present elementary school philosophy. So first is the child should be provided with proper conditions for growth in the school. So next is teachers must inform about each child's interests, needs, and capabilities. The next is the education of the child is a continuous process requiring avoidance of fragmented curriculum which would hinder his learning and his intellectual growth. So next is education cannot be poured in the mind since its effectiveness depends upon the natural acceptance and desire for growth by the child. So next philosopher is Friedrich William Froebel. So he was a contemporary of Herbart and Pestalozzi. He studied for several years at Yverdon under Pestalozzi. So during his mid-20s, he established his own private school. However, this school was a financial failure, and he subsequently taught for several years in elementary school throughout Switzerland. So his famous book is entitled Education of Man. It was published when he was 44 years old. The next philosopher is Edward L. Thorndike. He exerted great influence on all phases of education, especially in psychology, and in the application of statistical measurement of educational practice. So Edward argued that the broad purpose of education is to help to achieve a better life through full satisfaction of his wants. So the last philosopher is John Dewey. He had more to do in directing the thinking of modern-day educators than any other scholar. So he established the laboratory school at the University of Chicago and here from 1894 through 1906. Okay, so that's all for the educational philosophies. Now, on a 1/4 sheet of paper, I want you to differentiate the 4 philosophical foundations of education. Okay, thank you class, and that's all for our discussion. So do you have any questions? Clarification? Okay, so again, what is educational philosophy? Okay, Mr. Cabale. Okay, thank you, Mr. Cabale. So how about the 4 philosophy of education? Okay, Miss Kaliwan. Okay, thank you, Miss Kaliwan. And lastly, how about the 5 forerunners of modern educational philosophy? Okay, Miss Adaya. Okay, thank you, Miss Adaya. Now, I want you to get a 1/4 sheet of paper and answer the following questions. So, in a 1/4 sheet of paper, answer briefly the following question. So, first question, what is educational philosophy? The second question, give the 4 philosophy of education. So, third question, give the 5 forerunners of modern educational philosophy. If you're done answering, please pass your paper immediately. Okay, I guess everyone is done answering. Please pass your paper. And now, for your assignment, answer the given question in a one whole sheet of paper. So in a one whole sheet of paper, I want you to make an essay with your own understanding of educational philosophy. And that is all for today, class. Thank you for listening and your participation. Have a great day and goodbye.